Mahamad joy chapata maheshu Mahamad joy japata maheshu Kasi mukti Kasi mukti hetu upadeshu. This is taken from Balkanda after Doha 18, second Chopai. Kasi mukti hetu upadeshu.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Mahima jaso jana gana rao jaso jana gana rao Pratama pujyata dama prabhavo Pratama pujyata dama prabhavo
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Oh Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
The poet is saying that this Greek name was muttered by Lord Shiva. What name? The name of the Lord. Chanting of the name. The period we are coming up to is known as Ganesh Chaturthi. In all Hindu homes, in most Hindu homes where puja is being done, Ganesh is there. If one or other murti is not there, that's fine, but Ganesh is always there. And we ask, why is Ganesh worshipped so much? I would like to remind you that when Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati were getting married, the first puja that was done was to Ganapati. Then, if you are remembering the story, you will ask, how come Ganesh was not born yet? How come they're doing puja to Ganapati? This is so important for us to understand this whole symbology of Ganesh Chaturthi. So that Ganapati that they worshipped at the time of the marriage ceremony was known as Adi Ganesh. That Ganesha who has no form. That Ganesha who represented that component of Brahman, that component of Brahman to destroy obstacles in our path. Now, if you are told, worship that Adi Ganesh, that Ganesha that has no form, you can't put any chandan upon him. You can't put any garland upon him. Your mind is just not that evolved to concentrate upon the Ganesha who is without form. So this creation of Ganapati here is for us to do his adoration. So, when they say, Mahamanta Joye Chapata Maheshu, this great mantra, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. That Gam Ganapataye, that Bij Akshar, is to ask that all our difficulties be removed. But who is this Ganesh? This Ganesh has an elephant trunk upon his head. Even our own children, when they see the Hindu children, when they see the elephant trunk upon Ganapati's head, they were afraid to approach the subject, that people might laugh at them, that look, your religion is worshipping elephant head. But that is only what? A symbolic feature. That elephant trunk was put upon his head to let us understand that Ganapati stands for intellect, memory and intellect. Without memory and intellect, we cannot do anything in this world. We can do nothing whatsoever in this world. So, memory and intellect are very important for us. This tells us, this head of Ganesha represents that intellect. That intellect is to let us remember all the stories. But one must understand the thing that causes our intellect to function is our mind. Our mind is nothing but a graveyard of thoughts. Please remember this. We have to use the intellect. We have to use the intellect to what? Tame the mind. To tell the mind, this is a one-way street, or this street has a no entry sign on it, or you must yield. I'm speaking of traffic signs. So the Ganapati there, that intellect, is telling you, although your mind is a graveyard, because you know what our minds have? Our minds have all the thoughts of yesterday. Of yesterday. What happened last week? What happened the week before? What that person said? What that person did? All that. This mind is a constant graveyard. That is why Swami Chinmayananda said, the mind is nothing but stench. And what Ganapati does for us, and worshipping Ganapati, is to allow us to use that intellect to tell you how to perceive your mind, how to guide your mind, how to prevent your mind from taking you down the path that you're not supposed to go to. Because freedom in this world, freedom is not dependent upon anything. Please remember this. If you want to be free in this world, you must not be dependent on anything. Your thoughts must be free, and when your thoughts is free, your mind is free. And this happiness transcends future, present, and past actions or thoughts. Happiness. What is happening now will become past. Is that true? Now, a few minutes after, it becomes past. What was the future is happening now, comes later, that becomes present. So once you can get rid of the present, past, and the future also, then you'll be able to keep this freedom with you. Ganapati tells us the figure of that elephant head. When you go to it next time, it's not an elephant that we are worshipping. Please remember this. We are worshipping Ganapati as the Lord of the intellect. Once the intellect is sharp, you will understand. You know what you'll understand? Tat Tvam Asi. You will understand Aham Brahmasmi. I am what? I am this. I, this, and that. I, be the person. This is the Ishvara. Thou is the personality. That between yourself and Ishvara, you will understand that who you are. And this intellect will allow us to get to that level. But it's not easy. It's not easy to do that. You do not have to do only meditation to get there. Bhakti can get there. You know, Uddhav, when Uddhav saw Bhagavan Krishna crying, Bhagavan asked him, Uddhav asked him, why are you crying? He said, you must go and see the Gops and Gwals of Vrindavan. ये तो प्रेम की बात है उद्धो, ये तो प्रेम की बात है उद्धो, बंदगी तेरे बस की नहीं है, ये तो प्रेम की बात है उद्धो, बंदगी तेरे बस की नहीं है, यह सरद के होते सौदे, यह सरद के होते सौदे, आशिकी इतनी सस्ती नहीं है,
ये तो प्रेम की बात है
ये तो प्रेम की बात दो, बंदगी तेरे बस की नहीं है. So what it means, for those of us who understand the meaning, it is telling us that it is not enough only for you to go to bandagi. It is not only enough for you to go and to bow your head to the Lord. यह सरद के होते हैं सौदे. You think you can give your head for all these things? But what? आशिकी इतनी सस्ती नहीं. It is not so cheap to get His love. It is not so cheap to get the Lord with you. It is not so cheap that just by bowing your head. What I want to say, it's just not by coming to the temple and I come for darshan and you think Bhagavan will come to you. No! You come to the darshan, that's fine, you'll get the blessings from him. But if you want to really get that happiness, if you want to really get that freedom, if you really want to get your intellect sharpened, like Ganapati, you have it. But आशिकी इतनी सस्ती नहीं है, ये तो प्रेम
की बात है उद्धो, बंदगी तेरे बस की नहीं है, ये तो प्रेम की बात है उद्धो.
कब वक्त पूछा,
वालों ने कब वक्त पूछा,
उनकी पूजा में सुन ले आए उद्धो, यह दम दम में होती है पूजा, यह दम दम में होती है पूजा, सर झुकाने के फुर्सत नहीं है,
ये तो प्रेम की बात है उद्धो, बंदगी तेरे बस की
It is not enough only for us to come and bow our head. We have to do more than that to get freedom. Freedom is such a beautiful thing to have. When you are free, you don't have to, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You are like a bird, you can fly and you can soar into the sky. And what? There's nothing to stop you from fluttering your wings and you go along with the wind. It is not, even when difficulties come to us, you must experience that freedom even in difficulties. And you have to remember the word, Honi. Honi. What is to happen will happen. If you can remember this one word, what is to happen will happen, and you can't get away from it, no matter if you know about it, you can't get away from it. It will happen. This is the law of our karma and the law of the tendencies that we have been born with, our vasanas. Whatever should happen will happen. You remember I told you the story? I don't know if you all remember. You all remember the story of Honi? See? Janmejai was the son of Raja Parikshit. So he wanted to listen to the Mahabharata. So he went to Vedavyas and he started, he asked him this question. How come in this Mahabharata there was this war? Why could Bhagwan Krishna stop the war? He was all-powerful, and this is a question people are asking him up to today. Then he said to Janmejai, what is to happen will happen. Janmejai said, I don't believe that. You're talking nonsense. I said, okay. 5 years from this date, you will ride on a white horse. You will go, I've told you this before, you will go to the north. You'll see a maiden. You'll marry her. You'll bring her back. You will kill lots of Brahmins. You will get leprosy. And from that leprosy you will die. He said, okay. He said, from today onwards, I will not ride again. So he stopped riding. So if he stopped riding, he can't ride on a white horse, right? When the 5th year came, he had this desire, this urge, I want to go riding. So he sent an order to his commander, and I want to ride, but I do not want to ride on a white horse. I want a brown horse. He went to the stables, and when he went to the stables, there was a white horse there. So he said to the commander, how come? I told you I don't want to ride on a white horse. He says, sir, all the good brown horses have gone out. This is the only one that is there. He says, okay. I will not go in the northerly direction. Because the prophecy says he'll go in the northerly direction. I will not go in the northerly direction. So he went trying to hunt a deer. And when he was hunting this deer, this deer started run, started to go in the northerly direction. Followed the deer in the northerly direction, he saw a beautiful lake. And there was an enchanting maiden there, lady there. He went there, asked her to marry him. She said, okay, took her to his palace. She said she wanted to marry now, just in case he changes his mind. All the Brahmin priests had gone out to do various other things, and only the young Brahmin sons were there. So they said, okay, they called the young Brahmin sons and they married. So while she was giving the dakshina, this puja, she had an upper cloth, which the wind came and they blew away the upper cloth and exposed a lot of her body, and the children started to laugh. And when she saw the children laughed, she ordered them to be killed. They were killed. Then when they were killed, he got leprosy, and so it went on and on. Whether it happened or didn't happen, what I'm trying to say to you, what is to happen in your life will happen. Whatever karma dictates for you. You remember what I told you? Long time ago. Some of you probably weren't here that time. It's called blueprint. You know what a blueprint is what the architect designed for a building. And what is in your blueprint? If it's a small little room you're going to live in, if that's your blueprint, that is what you're going to live in. If you are going to live in a huge house, and that's your blueprint, that is what you're going to live in. So, because of Ganesh Chaturthi, I would like to say that we pray and we ask him, Lord, let my intellect, forget about the rest of the aspects of Ganapati. They say about his tusk, one of his tusks is broken, the other tusk is whole, because it shows us that we must try to discriminate between what is good and what is bad. You know, between the duality, we must discriminate between that. He can pick up the tusk of the elephant, can pick up a needle from a haystack, and he can also push down a tree. There is no instrument that man has made which is big enough to push down a tree and at the same time make a little watch. Because a watchmaker's tool is so small, a logger's tool is so big, etc. So, if we do these things, the elephant trunk, let us forget all about that. Then around his waist, tie a rope, etc., etc. So, what I'm trying to say to you is, are there no other pundits here? If somebody should be there, at least. Where are all the pundits? They all gone? Yes. Where was I? Yeah. So, forget about all other aspects of Ganapati. The Ganesh is just concentrate on his head, the intellect part. And there we ask, may this intellect be with us so we can understand what is right and what is wrong. Now, a question is asked. Having done this Ganapati, do all this puja to him, what happened? We then go and we dissolve him. Is that true? We throw him in the water for it to be dissolved. In Bombay, etc., in Mumbai, Mala, she's listening to the people's stories instead of listening to me. Can you tell her not to talk there for me, please? Yes. But her mind is with what is going on there instead of listening to what's going on here. So, the question is why Ganapati is dissolved. Anybody has any idea why they dissolve Ganapati? In Bombay, they make huge murtis, huge, and they will take it to the ocean and dissolve it. Do we know why they are dissolved? Anybody knows why they dissolve Ganapati? What's the real philosophical meaning of it? The philosophical meaning of dissolving Ganapati is that we must dissolve the world around us. For 15 days we do puja, or 10 days we do puja, how many days it is. You do puja to Ganapati, you concentrate upon him, you dance, you sing, and you bring all sorts of mithai, etc., and you give it to Ganapati. And then, having done all this puja for so many days to Ganesha, we then go and take the Ganesha and we dissolve it. It is telling all of us. And after you dissolve the Ganapati, everybody forget about Ganesh Chaturthi now until the next year. When you dissolve the Ganapati, you are asking Bhagwan, may all, as you are dissolving the Ganapati, It's supposed to be, but it was that God wanted Ganesh last year that was made of something that could be dissolved. When you dissolve the Ganapati, you're asking, may all my difficulties as you are being dissolved, may it all go just like how you are going into the water. This is the meaning of Ganesh Visarjan. Nothing else. May all my difficulties go, and when you sing Ganapati Bappa, Moria, etc., we sing and we ask that he be dissolved. So Ganapati is one of the deities that we must put a lot of reverence to, a lot of importance to, especially for our children. Our children must understand, for them to get good buddhi. How we pray at him? Gajananam bhutagadadi sevitam kapita jambu phalachara bhakshanam umasutam shok kabinasakarakam namami Vighneswara pada pankajam. We ask that Ganapati to dissolve our difficulties, to remove our difficulties, from us, and replace it, you know, with what? With love. When you have resentment for a person, if we don't have love and we have no other emotion, that's fine. But when we have resentment is like when you are taking the poison and you are hoping another person will die. The person you have the resentment for, you are hoping that he or she should die, but you take the poison. This is what resentment is. Resentment is like a poison in our bodies. So that when we resent, we are hoping that the poison that we take in, we take the poison, but yet we are hoping that the other person must die. When you pray to Ganapati, it's very beautiful. You know, Ganesha must be adored and prayed to early in the morning. Very early in the morning. As you get up from your bed, you should pray to Ganesha. Or just remember Ganesha. And just ask him what? Lord, allow my intellect to be sharp today. So whatever I do, it must be for some good cause, some good reason. So your love is not an emotion, you know. Love is a verb. I love you. Love is a verb. That love, for you to love Bhagwan, it is totally dependent on how much you are putting into the relationship. Whether it's a relationship to Bhagwan, whether it's a relationship to your spouse, whether it is a relationship to your children, whether it's a relationship to your friends. You can only get out from the bank what you deposit. So if you want that love to come to your heart from Ganesha, you have to make that deposit in you. And when you make that deposit in you, Ganesha will come out and will flourish. And that love will flourish. And when that love flourishes, then what you sing? Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva.
Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Deva. Mata Jagi Parvati, Pita Mahadeva. Mata Jagi Parvati, Pita Mahadeva. Moria Re, Baba Moria Re.
Moria Re, Baba Moria Re.
Moria Re, Baba Moria Re. को पुत्र रे निर्धन को माया बांझन को पुत्र रे निर्धन को माया भव से पार करो नाथ भजन करो तेरा
जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा
जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा
माता जाकी पार्वती पिता महादेव
मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
अंधन को आंख दे और कोड़ियन को काया. You must give unto the blind person, you must give sight. So what does this mean? It means we who are blind to the inner world. There are two worlds we have. One is an inner world and one is an external world. When you go to Las Vegas, you don't know the difference between night and day. Everything looks the same. So many lights are there. But we are all, oh my, such beautiful things. And when we come home with our own difficulties and our own problems, etc. I'm not saying you don't enjoy the outer world. Enjoy the outer world. But you have to put some time to the inner world. Who you are. That inner world, Ganesh is saying, give us that sight which is within us, so we can turn that sight inside us and ask Koham, who am I? Why am I here? This is what you ask. And then he says, Kodi and Kokaya, to heal those of us who are sick. Sick not necessarily of physical illnesses, but sick of the mental illnesses which you think, which is given to the external things like drown yourself in drugs, alcohol, etc. Free us from all these things. Bhajan ko putra det or nidhan ko maya. Give us children who are worthy of understanding the inner self. So there are two worlds we have, an inner world and an outer world. The inner world is what good we can do for mankind. Einstein denatured the plutonium ion and made the huge bomb, the atomic bomb, the hydrogen bomb was made. Is that true? All these things we can do with the outer world. But we cannot use that same science to look into, to peep into the inner world and find out what this inner world is. What is this inner world? This inner world is like you have a brain, you have a nervous system, and the nerve along the muscles, they're very small, very, very small. And they go from one synapse to another synapse. There's a doctor here, so she understands what I'm saying. So the stimulation go from one synapse to another synapse. And that one nerve, if it is destroyed, you cannot move that muscle anymore. Can you imagine that? This is what we have to understand, the inner world. The inner world has so much to teach us. How we are functioning. Do we know how this body functions inside it and what causes it to function? We do not know that. All we know about is the outer world. How we can make ourselves pretty. How we can make ourselves nice. How we can do this. What else the joy you get in music. People says that when you sleep, that is anandam. Well, you know what? That is not anandam. That is anandamay kosh. Just like you have this physical anandamay kosh is a sleeping state. Anandam is when you have that bliss, that bliss which gives you peace, that peace that passeth understanding, according to Christ. That bliss, that anandam. Because if you have that anandam during sleep, when you get up, you will feel that anandam. But when you get up from the sleep state, although you're unconscious and you don't know what's happening, you're back into the Maya and the world again. But we must strive to get to anandam. And one way of striving to get to anandam is to try to sharpen our intellect. Sharpen our intellect. I'm stressing this point today. Sharpen our intellect so our intellect can guide our mind. And because of our mind, our thoughts. And when it guides our mind and our thoughts, then it will prevent us. So when the mind tells you to do something, check with the intellect. You know how you check with the intellect? You know what you say? My mind tells me to do this, but something else is telling me, oh, I should not do it. That something else is your inner voice that is speaking. Check with your intellect. If we can just understand this one thing today, we pray to Ganapati to increase our intellect, increase our powers of thinking. Do not say that you can't think like Einstein or you can't think like all the great scientists. Of course you can. It's just that you do not put the effort that is required. Einstein did not come up upon his theory that E equal mc squared, that energy and mass is the same, just like that. He put a lot of effort into it. And just to talk about Einstein, when Newton came, he said energy and mass were two different things. Our Vedic scientists said energy and mass is the same. That from mass, you can get energy. Newton, earlier, around the 16th, 17th century, he talked about gravity. But when Einstein came, Einstein agreed with the Vedic principle that mass and that energy can come out of mass, and this is what the Vedic principle had said. So there are so many things for us to learn about science, so many things we can learn from Ganapati. You look at the broken tusk that I told you about, it tells you about discrimination. The trunk tells you can pick up a small tool and you can push down a tree. The Ganapati, he has an axe in his hand, and with that axe he cuts asunder the difficulties that comes in your path. He has a rope that is tied around his waist because he's telling you to control, and his vehicle is a what? His vehicle is a little rat. And if you put a rat in a granary where there's rice, it will not eat all the rice, but it will destroy the rice. This is our desire. The rat is just looking up at Ganesha, and he's telling us, control our desires. And when you can control the desires, you can control your thoughts. And when you can control your thoughts, you can refer much more to your intellect. So Ganapati is a very special deity that we must pay a lot of attention to. And remember I talked about Honi, what is to happen will happen. And the best way of getting to happiness in life, I talked about happiness a little bit, you got to transcend the three tenses. The best way of getting to happiness is when the mind can be quiet. In other words, you must have no mind. Sometimes, when you sit down at home, you can't, by yourself, having looked at the television and see what's happening in India and Kashmir and Trump, and your mind becomes more and more disturbed or agitated, then you can turn these things off. Look at your Ganapati and see his very small little eyes and his huge head. See his eyes? His eyes are very small eyes he has, and his huge head. concentrate upon his eyes and said, Ganesha, give me freedom. Man, if you can be free, you don't have to pray anymore. You are God. If you are free, free from everything, from children, grandchildren, house, car, man, woman, free, but it does not mean you must not work. Free, but it does not mean you must not work for the benefit of society. Free, but it does not mean you must not work for the benefit of mankind. Work for all these, but still be free. In other words, don't let any of these things cause you to get into difficulties. Don't let any of these things come upon you. You must be free.